Alright guys, welcome to another video, and today we are getting very deep. I've got the whiteboard out for the first time in a super long time, but the game is changing, and what's happening is a lot of newcomers are coming into this game and they don't understand how Facebook works, they don't understand what's working, and it's not your fault, okay? You've been taught wrong, you've been taught a lot of misinformation, a lot of people don't tell you this, but they want to charge you for this information. So I'm going to tell you a few things. First, we're going to cover how Facebook works, the $5 ad set myth, well, the lie, I should say, positive cash flow. We're going to cover customer value, budget ratios, and I'm also going to cover a $6,000 thing I'm working on, $60,000 thing I'm working on right now, which we'll actually put under positive cash flow. So this video stems from a post I put in our Facebook group the other day. What happened is, make sure my microphone's working. What happened was, a lot of people are having trouble, right? Your adverts are going like this. Some days they're good, some days they're all right, then they're good, then they're bad, and then they're good, and they're all over the place, right? And if that's happening, there's a problem, and I'm going to tell you the problem in this video. So I encourage you to stay to the end. There's a lot of good value in this. I'm not going to talk about just Facebook. I'm going to talk about some other stuff as well. But the problem was posted on Facebook, and everyone was like, wow, that opens my eyes to everything, and it makes sense. And then just yesterday, a guy that I told, and you know, every now and then I help someone out privately for free. I don't charge for any private stuff. I talked to this guy for about an hour the other day, talked to him for about half an hour just now, and he said, I know what my problem was. It's exactly what you said, Franklin. And the thing is, Facebook is an analytical platform, it's an algorithmic platform. Man, those are two big words right there for someone that didn't finish school. But that's what it is, and you have to treat it like that. The algorithm is very complex, and you can't just jump in and start doing Facebook adverts and expect to win. So my experience stems back probably quite a long time now, where I built up a huge affiliate website from straight Facebook adverts. And a lot of guys now don't have the experience. They jump in and they don't really read data, analyze stuff, and they fail, or the ads underperform. Basically, the ads underperform. So how does Facebook work? Facebook is a algorithm. All right, most of you know this, and what happens is you need some factors to, you need a bid. So Facebook's going to either automatically bid for you or a manual bid, right? We all know that. You need a relevant advert. Relevancy also counts towards the algorithm. The more relevant your advert is, the better. Facebook has said if someone bids more than you, let's say you win the bid in one of the ad placements, but the other person has a more relevant advert, they could possibly they could possibly outbid you. So it's not all about just bid. And there's a few other factors. 15 to 25 conversions minimum per 7 days. Okay? This is a very important factor, and we're going to talk more about this in the $5 ad set section of this video. There's also a lot of other factors. So there's also negative and positive feedback on your adverts. Okay, if your adverts get negative feedback, Facebook tends to maybe give you a bit more expensive costs. I don't know what they do, but it does affect your ads. They do a lot of things. It's a very technical algorithm. If you get a positive feedback on your ad set, on your advert, you can see this by customizing your columns, then your advert is kind of like, well, gets a leg up against the next person if theirs is getting negative. So these are kind of the main things: is bid, relevancy, 15 to 25 conversions a day, and negative and plus stuff. Now, this is the same as something like Google, right? You need all of this stuff to have a good advert. Google's kind of the same. The reason I'm telling you about this is because a lot of you guys that follow me are SEO experts and all that sort of stuff. SEO, search engine optimization. You know that to game Google, you need backlinks, okay? You need good content. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to go for, but I intend to stay at the end. It's going to be good. You need good content, right? You need relevant content, relevant articles, right? Excuse my handwriting, it's shocking. You need good on-page SEO. Now this is obviously not Google's paid system. It's the automatic, it's the free Google system, right? The organic search. But the reason I'm using this is because it's the same thing. If you don't have good backlinks or better backlinks than the next guy, you're going to be put below him. If you don't have good content, you're going to be put below whatever. Google takes these factors, and there's over 200 factors apparently to ranking in Google, but I don't think that's correct, really, because that's just stuff bloggers say. So you've got all of these factors, and it's the same as Facebook. If you've been doing SEO and you know that you need all these factors to rank and you get placed at all these different spots on the front page, well, treat it the same as if when you're doing Facebook. That's how I see Facebook. I've got an SEO background, and it takes me a long time to get my websites ranked, and so initially, for me, it takes a long time to get my Facebook adverts placed where I want them to be, right? So, because I have to scale up. It's the same with Google. You have to scale up. And the reason I said that is because I want you guys to understand that all of these systems online are not simple. They're very complex, and you have to game it. You have to know how to get your advert to where you want it to be, or get your website on Google to where you want it to be. So that, in a nutshell, is how Facebook works. I'm not going to really go into it too much because a lot of you guys know that. But you have a campaign, you have an ad set, right? You guys know that, and you have an advert. We'll just put AV there. Campaign is your objective, so your your conversion advert, your PPE, your video views, right? And then here you do your ages, interest, and all that sort of good stuff. And then you do your ad copy here, right? So your titles and your images and all that, right? Straightforward, pretty simple. Most of you guys know how that works. Now the problem is, let's move on to $5 ad sets now, and we're kind of still in the how Facebook works phase. This is what happens, right? Everyone gets told you can make a fortune of $5 ad sets. It's the biggest bunch of bullshit on the planet. Okay? If you want to make a fortune from $5 adverts, you have to upscale those $5 adverts. But what these guys are saying is, hey, we can sell you some shit for $5, and if you just put in $5, you're going to make $2 grand, or you're going to make 10 grand, right? That's not how business works. That's not how business works. $5 ad sets, right, are good for one thing, and one thing only, and that's testing, right? Testing. That is what they are good for. So what you do is you get multiple ad sets going. You put $5 into each one, right? God, that's getting a bit crazy there, isn't it? You put $5 into each one. What you do is you find your winners, and you take your losers and you kill them, okay? And then your winners you upscale. Now that's basic, right? But people don't do that, and I'm going to tell people don't understand how this works. First of all, a lot of people message me and they say, Franklin, my man, I've spent $10 over 2 days and I haven't got a sale. Of course you haven't got a sale, man. Like, honestly, of course you haven't got a sale. And then I tell you you need to do bigger budgets, and you don't listen, and you call this stuff scam. It's not, like, you got to understand that most conversions, like you guys are putting yours on Purchase Pixel and you're spending $10. Most conversions are usually going to come in at like $2 to $5 on average, and then you got, conversions can range from, purchase conversion can range from $1 to $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $10, $20, whatever, depending on your niche. So when you've got $10 ratios, but $10 budgets, you're not giving enough data to Facebook. Now, in some cases, you're going to get, if you run an ad set for 2 days, and you're going to get sales, right? Of course you're going to get sales sometimes, but sometimes you're not. It depends on your niche. But this is what happens, and this is what's kind of making people fail with their adverts. So I want you to listen up carefully, okay? Let's say you've done your $5 testing, okay? $5 is excellent for testing. It's excellent for testing. Let's say you have one winning ad set, okay? This is your ad set. $5. Okay? This is what most people do because you've been told to do this. And remember that you need 15 plus conversions, 15 to 25 plus minimum per week for Facebook to start to optimize your advert, okay? Your ad set, I should say. So 15 per week. This is what some of you guys are doing, and it's crazy. So you're duplicating. So you've got a winning. Let's say you've had this running for a couple of days, right? Let's say 3 days. You got one sale, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna start to scale. So what you do is you duplicate that ad set, and you run it at $5. Okay? You duplicate it again. This is what you've been told to do. Misinformation. You duplicate it again. You duplicate it again. What happens now is you think you are now upscaled to $20 per day. You have not scaled up at all. What you've done is you've duplicated a shitty underperforming advert into 3 other shitty underperforming adverts, and now you have 4 shitty underperforming adverts. This is not scaling because Facebook does the conversions at the ad set level only. Okay? So Facebook doesn't come in here and take this $20 and calculate all of them. So let's just say you've got 1 conversion here, you've got 2 here, you've got 1 here after a week, and then let's say this one's doing really well and you've got 10. Okay? Facebook calculates that one and it's optimized. So they're optimizing this one, they're optimizing this one and this one separately. So you haven't got 10, 11, 12, 13, you haven't got 13 conversions per week. You've only got whatever's in that ad set. Okay? So let's do another kind of thing here to help you understand. So basically, if you're doing this, stop it right now because it's not how you do Facebook adverts. I don't care what anyone tells you. That's not how you do Facebook adverts. Now, you can scale from that point, and we'll talk about that, but let's talk about this for a second. If you start a $5 ad set, right, and you get 2 conversions, 2 sales, right, or add to carts or whatever, but you get 2 sales at $2.50 each, okay? That continues on for 6 days, so 7 days total. Now, usually it's going to be up and down. You might get 2, you might get 3. This is going to change up and down because you're not on the optimization level yet. So let's say you get 14 conversions from 1 ad set, okay? This is your ad set at $5. You still haven't got the 15 plus. So your ad set has basically sat there for a whole week and done nothing. And then what happens is it's not optimizing. So this is how it works. And a lot of you guys are getting this problem. We have a graph here. We're going to have a graph here. This is time, okay? And this is conversions. So this is our 15 plus per week line. What's happening is you're running these $5 ad sets and first of all, you're not feeding Facebook enough money. Now this is past the testing stage, remember, okay? We're not in the testing stage. I'm not saying $5 is bad, it's very good for testing, but it's not good for scaling and long-term Facebook adverts. What happens is on day 1, we'll go 1, 2, get rid of time real quick. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On day 1 you get, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 15, right? 5 here. Let's say on day 1 you get 1 conversion. Day 2 you get 3. Day 3 you get 1. Day 4 you get nothing. Day 5 you get another 2, right? Day 6 you get 1. Day 7 you get nothing. So we have 2, 3, that's 5, 6, 7, and that's 1, so 8. We've got 8 conversions. It's still not enough, and what's happening is your advert's going like this, right? You know this. Your advert's going like that. You've noticed that graph probably a ton inside your advert, and it's not optimizing. It's not optimizing. If you're not giving Facebook enough stuff, Facebook's like, we don't know what to do with your advert. You're not giving us enough data, and $5 is not going to give Facebook what it needs, and those are the facts, guys. That's the facts. And then another problem is conversion windows. People are doing 1-day conversion windows with $5 because the gurus are telling them that's what they need to do. That Facebook has said they base the optimization off conversions that happen inside these windows. So really you need to be on 7-day. Okay, you need to be on a 7-day window, because 1-day windows is for people that are jumping in with huge budgets and they're getting huge amounts of conversions in that 1 day. Okay, so 1 day and 7-day. You need to be on 7-day. It gives Facebook more data over a long over the week, the 7-day period. So I hope that made sense. Okay, I'm basically telling you right now that $5 adverts are not running, are not good. Okay, now this is what Facebook wants. Facebook wants you to run your $5 advert. Okay, get some data going, but they want you to increase the price over time. Whether that be on the main ad set or the duplicated one, there's no real trick. Sometimes I jump on my phone and increase the main one, or sometimes I'll duplicate it, right? So they want you to increase. So let's say you've done your test and you're on a $5 ad set. Facebook wants you to increase it maybe by $1 the next day. A couple, well, let's say 50 cents. Okay? The next day, they want, let's say the next day is here, they want you to do it again. Let's go maybe another percentage, let's say 10% or whatever, and we get to 0.7, and then 70, and then the third day we get to $1. Right? Facebook wants you, they've said this before, they said they would rather you have just one ad set and increase the budget than to have multiple ad sets targeting the same interest and everything's the same. Okay? Now you have to understand that when it comes to increasing, this is another problem. This is going to be a really long video, by the way. This is another problem. So people increase their ad sets, right? Let's say we go $5 to $6 to 7 to 8 to 9. Okay? Every single time you do an increase, Facebook needs a little bit of time to adjust, and it can be 24 hours, it could be 5 hours, it could be 3 days. It depends on how much you adjust the price. If you adjust it from, say, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, it might take longer to adjust. And that comes to our next problem. This is going to be a long video, guys. This comes to our next problem. Okay? Someone has an ad set, nice little square here, right? And they increase the price to, let's say, $7 from $5. Okay? What happens over that next day period or 2 day period, your ad set might go from a nice winning ad set, and it might drop a little bit. It might come up, might drop. What Facebook is doing is it's trying to figure shit out. You've basically just increased the price. So and that's a dramatic change, kind of, not much, but more dramatic changes are more like 5 to 100. But to Facebook, that's a slight dramatic change. So what's happening is people are like, okay, my adverts now have turned to crap. They're coming to the Facebook going, Franklin, man, like my ad sets aren't doing good now. It's been like 3 hours, I've duplicated it or I've increased the price. Well, that's because Facebook is now in the re-optimization stage. They're adjusting your ad set, right? And then if you just be patient, you'll get out of that period and it'll start to come up again, right? And then you might do another price adjustment and it might drop a little bit more and come back up. Now, and usually, not all the time, but usually if you increase slowly, I've found if you increase slowly to 10, 15%, you might get a little dip when you start, but over time, the dips are not really going to happen and you're just going to increase. Because Facebook will now understand that you're doing these price increases every day and you'll be all right. But it's kind of, Facebook is not perfect every time, but that's usually what happens with me. Now, there's another scenario. Shit, man, there's a lot of scenarios in this. You have a $5 ad set and you duplicate it and you have put it to 10, okay? Once again, it's the same principle. You have to let it optimize. You have to let it re-optimize and redo its thing. And this kind of brings me to another thing. It's the same thing again. Let's say you optimize it again at $5, or you maybe optimize one at 15. You've duplicated and you think that that's optimizing. You're still running low ad sets. You need bigger budgets. You need to feed Facebook. You need to feed it the money. That's the secret. That's how we're getting big money. We're putting in big budgets. I did a $700 test the other day. I'm going to talk about that at the positive cash flow. So what's happening is you've got all these ad sets again and they're re-optimizing and all that sort of stuff, and you're like, man, everything's just failing. It's not, it's readjusting. But even then, if you do it like this, even if you duplicate and now you've got a 10, or if you duplicate now you've got a 20, right? Which some people tell you to do as well. You still might not get the right amount of conversions, because remember, Facebook's only optimizing at the ad set level. It's optimizing all of these separately, okay? So the main goal with your advert should be have 1 or 2 or 3 ad sets that are running, but you're increasing the price and you're getting to bigger budgets. Bigger budgets are the aim of the game, whether you're doing manual bidding or you're doing automatic bidding. Automatic bidding, I tend to not go huge on budgets, maybe 100 plus, maybe about 100, 150 a day. I go to automatic bid when I start getting past that point. But this is something that I do. Let's say I've done my $5 test. I actually don't even do $5 anymore. I'm gonna say 10. I don't even do $5 ad sets anymore. I've stopped that a long time ago. So let's say I have a $10 ad set and it's winning, okay? This is winning, I'm getting a bunch of sales. What I do is I duplicate that ad set into another one. But now what I've done is I've now created 2 ad sets at $100 over time, right? That Facebook is optimizing at that $100 level each. It's not optimizing at 200, it's optimizing it at 100 each. So now I'm giving Facebook the money it wants, the money it needs, whether it be 50, 100, whatever money I need to put in to get my 15 plus a week. Optimal is 50. Now, if you can't get to that point, and you don't want to spend the money, then you just do things like add to cart, right? Not purchases. If you get a campaign, an ad set that's running on add to cart and you're getting heaps of add to carts, you're getting heaps of sales, there's absolutely no point. Well, what I mean by heaps of sales is like, let's say you're getting 15 to 20, maybe 30 a week. There's no point in changing it, because what's happening is Facebook's still getting you the purchases you want, but you're giving them more add to carts, so they're optimizing to add to carts. There's no harm in optimizing the add to carts because you're still getting sales. Because what might happen if you change to purchase, you could mess up your advert. Anything could happen. So there's no, it's this old saying goes, don't try to fix it if it ain't broken. Okay, if you have an ad set running at add to cart and it's doing very, very well and you're running it on a bit of a lower budget, because that's what you want to do, and you're still getting sales, just leave it, because you might be getting let's say you're getting 30 sales purchases, right? For instance, you might be getting 90 add to carts. And if you're giving Facebook 90 add to carts, you've got more chance of getting sales, because they're going to put your advert in front of add to carts, and those people are still probably going to purchase. But then if you give Facebook 30 purchases per week, they might not optimize your advert as well as they would as the add to cart. So that brings me back to my first advert. What do I do with that? Now, for instance, let's say I have 2 adverts running nicely. I'm still getting sales here. It's not really optimizing, doing anything. I could just start increasing this. So the takeaway from this is I always kind of have a backup advert somewhere, ad set somewhere. I have a backup in case all of this turns to shit, or, you know, as they say, the shit hits the fan. Then I have a backup and I can use that and go back to it. Now, in most cases, right, my kind of like my scaling rate, when I scale, I get like a 90% success rate, because I do it properly. I give Facebook the stuff it wants. And this is what they've said, I think I just mentioned it before, is they would rather have, okay, just take this away, they would rather have you have one ad set with a bigger budget, because that is where they do all of their optimizing, okay? Is that one ad set. That's it. They don't optimize the campaign level, they don't optimize advert level, ad set level. That's where they optimize. So, guys, when you're doing your duplications over and over again, you're not just doing $5 over and over again and thinking that you are now at $20 a day budget and you've scaled. That's not scaling. Like I said, that is duplicating an underperforming advert. You probably don't think it's underperforming, but I guarantee you it is. Okay, if you're not getting that 15 a week, it's underperforming, and you could do a hell of a lot better if you scale properly. Okay, and scaling properly is price increases, using lookalike audiences, all of that good stuff. Utilize those lookalike audiences because they are amazing. And that's really it. Like, just don't keep duplicating underperforming adverts, because you're going to come into the group and you're going to ask what's wrong, and I guarantee you 90% of the time that's what's wrong. Okay, and then there's another scenario. People are doing the $5 adverts, right, and they're letting them run for 2-3 weeks at a time, and then they're dying. Okay, they've been going alright, getting some conversion, they just flatline. What does this tell you? I'm just going to have a drink real quick and I'll come back. What does this tell you? So what does this tell you? This tells you that you've ran your $5 ad set for 2-3 weeks. Facebook hasn't got its 15 plus a week, and it's like, screw you. You're not giving us the money we need. We can't get the data you need, so we're not going to run your adverts anymore. We're just going to flatline you. We might give you a little sale here, tease you a little bit, a little sale here, tease you a little bit more. But that's what's happening. If your adverts, if you're just running at 5, even 10 or 20, and you're not getting the like you might be making ROI here. You might be, you know, plus cash flow positive. You might be making some money here, and then it dies off. So you might be making some money here, and it looks good, right? Everything looks good. That's the thing. You think it looks good. You think it's performing well, but in reality, it's not. And then it dies off in a couple of weeks, and you come and talk to us and say, "It's died. I've wasted all this money. What do I do?" What do you do is you start bigger budgets and you increase as early as you possibly can. That's what you do. And then you skip all this shit. Like, this is all just shit that you shouldn't have to deal with. And you're burning money. A guy in one of my last videos wasted $8 grand on advertising, and I told him about the 15 plus conversions, and now he's making good money. So guys, there's lots of scenarios on why your stuff can die. And really it's to do with your budgets most of the time. Like, your budgets, and you're duplicating and thinking that you're scaling that way when you're not. Okay, you know, I used to test like 50, 60, 100 ad sets at a time, right? That's fine, right? Heaps of them at $5. That's fine if you're trying to find winning products, okay? Or you're testing different audiences, you're testing different ages. That's fine. That works well. You can run that for a week, 2 weeks, a few days, or whatever, and get results, but you just need to upscale. You can't keep running Facebook adverts like that. And those are the facts, guys, right? Those are the facts. So if you're doing that, stop it. Now, so basically the $5 ad set thing is a bit bogus, because a lot of the pros or whatever, you know, they're not pros, but whoever they are, they will tell you that, come on in, you can make $5 grand off $5. They word it properly. What they do is they say, you can make money from as little as $5, right? That's a sales tactic. That's all it is. But they word it right to cover their ass. As little as $5, okay? As little. Let's mark that, as little. They're covering their ass. But then what happens is people come in and think that they can make, and they can keep running their ad sets at $5. That's not how it works, guys. Next, we're going to talk about positive cash flow, okay? And this is, I'm a very business-oriented man. I have multiple businesses, and everything I do is positive cash flow. So we're going to use an example here. You see this house I'm standing in? This is the second house I purchased in my entire life. This is a very special house to me because I have a lot of leeway with this house. I can make money throughout certain points of the year, and I'll tell you what I mean, and this is going to stem with Facebook. So what happens with this house? I purchased this house. It's a holiday home. I purchased it for $107,000 quite a long time ago. I got a good deal, purchased it. Sorry, that's not right. I got a good deal, purchased it off an old lady. It came furnished. That's why everything's old as shit in here. It came furnished and got a good deal, right? Oh, messed it up again. Got a good deal. But how did I do? Like, what's the whole point of this? Me telling you this, okay? So the thing with this house, I put in a $10,000 deposit, okay? So I borrowed $97 from the bank, $97,000 from the bank. That's not my money, okay? And we're going to talk about how when you advertise on Facebook, you're not using your money in reality. So this isn't my money, okay? It's the bank's money. What I do, so the reason I got this house is because all I needed to do, so I was paying back, I think, with rates, insurance and stuff. I don't pay, this is freehold now, I don't pay this mortgage anymore. But with rates and all of that sort of stuff, I think I was paying around about $1,100 a week. a month. So 1,100 a month is what I was paying. I think I paid it off in 8 years. So that's around about $1,200, $13,000 a year, right? So all I had to do was make back $13,000 a year to cover my expenses. So because this is a holiday home, I have an advantage. It's by the beach, the water's right frickin' there. I have an advantage. I can rent it out for the entire year if I want and make a ton of money, okay? But I can rent it out in the summer, and I think I was renting it for about $100, I don't rent it much anymore, but $120 a night. Okay, I think it's about $840 a week. Don't quote me on that. I think it's about $840 a week. So all I needed to do was rent it out in the summer, and you know, people would rent it for the weekend. Weekends were a bit more expensive. We would have like a flat rate, $600 usually for the weekends. Christmas time was like $500 a night. Really just depended on that. All I had to do was make back $13,000, okay? And that would pay back my $97,000, and I never had to put any in any of my own money apart from the $10,000. Okay, right? So just look at this real quick. I bought this property for $107,000. I put in a $10,000 deposit. I borrowed $97,000 from the bank, $13,000 a year, and I paid back the mortgage with that. And then whatever was left over, sometimes we had surplus. Sometimes we had a really good year. We might have had $10,000 sitting here. Do you know what that $10,000 is? Oh, I don't even know if you can see that. No, you can't. Right, so do you know what that $10,000 is? Let's get rid of, let's do it up here. So let's say I had a year and I made $10,000 extra. That is positive cash flow. Okay? That is my profit for the year from that property. Sometimes it's even. I like to be even or more. So that is positive cash flow, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about now with Facebook. Everything on Facebook is positive cash flow, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay? Now, when you start a, how much battery have I got left? When you start a Facebook campaign or objective, you should really figure out how much money you have to play with. One of my 100K items that I did was $29.99. It cost me, it was, how much did it cost me shipped? I think it was I think it was around about, let's just say, I think it was $9. Let's just say it was $10 shipped, right? Okay. I have $20 to play with. So what that tells me is, like, I've got $20 to play with now. Let's say $2 of it goes towards fees like your friggin' PayPal and Shopify fees. Now I've got $18 to play with. I could go on Facebook and say, hey, I'm willing to pay $8 per conversion, per purchase. And I could do a manual bid, or I could do an automatic bid and just watch it, right? $8 per conversion, and then that means I'll make $10 profit. That's my positive cash flow, right? That's my I hope you can see that. That's my positive cash flow. So if I'm willing to pay up to $8, roughly, you know, it could be more or whatever. So if I make 10 sales a day, that's $100 profit, right? Okay, you get that? You understand that? Now what happens is when you start to get a roll on with Facebook, right? You have your $29.99. A portion of it goes to the product. A portion of it goes to your fees. A portion of it goes to Facebook ads. And a portion of it goes to you. Okay? Now, see, the thing is, you're not paying this money. Your customer is. You're drop shipping, right? So I think we have enough. No, we don't have enough room here. So this is. We'll just go Facebook customer. Sorry. Did we say profit? Yeah, profit. Whatever. Now, what happens is. You have no cost. When you first start Facebook, you have Facebook advertising costs when you're testing, right? So you take a product from AliExpress, you advertise it That's a product. You advertise it to a customer. You are here. You're the middleman. Hey, yay, I'm here. Right? You're the middleman. What happens is, if the customer pays the $29 and you pay nothing, all you pay is for the product. You pay for the fees, and you pay for the Facebook advertising, but you haven't actually paid for that. The customer has paid for that. So that's the long-term game. But what happens is people come in, so that's positive cash flow. Shit, your positive cash flow good here. You're making like 10 bucks, maybe, you know, if your conversion is 8 bucks, you're making 10 bucks or whatever. Conversion should be lower than that though. Your positive cash flow, guys. You're not spending any money eventually. But what happens is people come in and they'll spend 100 bucks on testing, and they're like, shit, I've just wasted 100 bucks. You have to do that. You have to do that type of stuff. This property that I paid $107 for, right? I put down a $10,000 deposit, which is what I had to do to get my loan. So that $10,000 is basically, it's not my testing money, but that's the money I had to give up to get that mortgage, to get the positive cash flow. Do you get what I'm saying here? Right? That's what I had to do. I had to give up $10,000 of my own money that I saved. It's the same with friggin' Facebook. You have to give up 100, 500, 1,000, 3, 4. Some guys are doing $8,000 in testing. You have to give up that money to test your products. And then eventually down the road, maybe a month later, right? You're eventually getting some sales, and now you'll get coming back into the positive cash flow, and you're starting to make back your $100. Do you get what I'm saying? It's positive cash flow. That is the aim of the game. Now, let's talk about a $60,000 thing I'm working on. Let's talk about a $60,000 thing I'm working on, right? A friend of mine, I'm not going to tell you what niche she's in, but she's in a girly niche, advertises just to girls. Last year, she came to me and said, Franklin, I want to know how to make money online. I want to quit my job. And I only really help out friends and stuff, so personally in real life. So I said to her, what are you good at? She told me. Do you know what I did? I sat down with her and we figured out a game plan. We made a membership site with videos in it for her, doing what she does, her teaching. And then what we did, I did everything. I did all the editing of the videos. I made the complete site. And what I did is I made a deal with her. I'll take 50% split on the first 50K. Right, if we get there. We didn't know if this was going to work or not. On the first 50K, that was my split. So, and I did everything. I did a lot of work. I do all the Facebook advertising. I spend hours and hours and hours upon this with her, right? I help her out. Now, this is how we did it. And we, you guys, if you're on my Facebook page, you'll see the screenshot of the day we made. So far, we've made 63,800 and something. Okay, you got to know your numbers. We made 63,800 and something. Now, this is what we did. We spent, so we had an opt-in page, right? And actually a Shopify store comes into this equation in a second. We had an opt-in page where we collected an email. Then we had a thing where she sold an ebook that she had created for $17. If they purchased, they made the purchase. Hopefully you can see that. Yep, they made the purchase. Then there was an upsell of, I think it was $9.95, right? So we'll just say $27. $27, okay? Remember that number, $27. It's quite important, okay? So that's what we did, and we'll talk about this in a second. So what we actually did is we spent 300 and something dollars, well, it was 300 and something, sorry, $730 to test this funnel, right? And when we started, we were getting a lead at around about $3.80, I think, I remember. $3.80. We spent $700 and we now got it down to $1. We're fluctuating between $1.10 and we're fluctuating between $1.11 and around about $1.18. So we'll say $1.11 at our lowest. We got, for $700, we got our funnel down to $1.11 leads, and that's New Zealand dollars, so it's about 80 cents American, right? That's incredible. Now, what happened is we we made a little bit of money from here, right? I think we kind of were I think we made back about 300 of that. So we didn't actually spend 730. I think we made back about 300 roughly. It's been a while since we actually done the initial test. But what happens now is we get rid of all this. Now we have a funnel. This is our funnel. Remember that 27? Right? We have a funnel that is making us, this is our pages again. 17 here. And then we have the purchase, and then we have the $9 here. We'll say $10. Round it off. This is our opt-in page where we collect emails. Okay? What's happening now is we're actually making money here on Facebook. So we're putting in $1, and I think we're basically getting $1 back. I think we're even positive cash flow a little bit. I think for every 100 people we get on the list, we're making about, I don't know, 10 to 20 bucks positive cash flow. Okay? I think it's a little bit less than that. We'll just say 10 bucks. I think it's about 10 to $15. Right? So we're not actually making the bulk of our money from Facebook. Okay? But we are positive cash flow here. Slightly. I wouldn't even care if we were negative cash flow. Right? So basically we're getting free adverts. So now what's happening then is we have a email sequence that gets sent out. She's got a 5-day training series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's got a 5-day training series for the membership that I helped her create. This is where she's making all of her money. $60,000, and I think we did it in about 2 months. $60,000, and what's happening is she's making all of her money through the email list. So the takeaway from here is think outside the box. Like, you can't just think, hey, Facebook is where we're going to make all of our money. We have Shopify stores with 40,000 large email lists, 50,000 large email lists, 20,000 large email lists, and we're advertising back through that. So just because sometimes you can't maximize profits on Facebook doesn't mean you can come back in and advertise more products and make more money. Does that make sense? But yeah, that's how we made 60K, and we're still going 60K in a couple of months. Now, what's happening now is the split share is over. So 50% split share is over. I'm now taking 25% of whatever profits are made from $50,000 onwards, okay? For the rest of our lives, basically, because I do the Facebook advertising, I do all the video edits, I do about 3-4 edits for her a week, and that's an agreement we came to. So that's passive income over and over again now for me, for basically the rest of my life, as long as we keep this going, and we got free Facebook adverts. Basically, the people paid for the adverts, and it works exactly the same as Shopify. And that brings me to my next thing, is she's actually just started a Shopify store now. She has a huge list, right? Thousands upon thousands of people in her list. Okay, thousands. She's now started a Shopify store with products based on her niche. I can't really tell you what it is, I really want to though. Based on her niche, okay, it's a girly niche. And she's now using that list to, so she's doing her training, right? Her 5-day training series. Once that's finished, she's directing people to her store. And she's making money like that, okay? So the takeaway from all of this, now we're going to go into customer value and budget. That won't take too long. But the takeaway from all of this, guys, okay, is to just stop duplicating over and over again. You're wasting money, especially on lower budgets. Work out how much you can afford to spend on Facebook at the start. And then eventually you want to get into a positive cash flow where the customer is paying for everything. Okay? And you are taking a cut. You are the middleman, Mr. Happy Guy over here. You've made a couple $100,000 or something. You're taking a cut. You are the middleman. Alright guys, so my camera cut out. I did all this stuff and my camera is shit and it cut out. What happens is when it gets a flat battery, it doesn't tell me and it says it's still recording when it's not. Anyway, I'm going to do it again. So we're going to talk about customer value and budget ratios. But first I want to say that although I say don't duplicate ads over and over again, you're going to be like, well, Franklin, you did it in your example. What I do is I duplicate adverts, but I increase the budgets and I only go to about 3 max. What I'm saying when I say don't duplicate over and over again is don't duplicate over and over again on your small budgets and then So someone was knocking on my door. So don't duplicate over again with your small budgets and not increase them, okay? That's what I mean when don't just keep duplicating. Because I've got guys messaging me saying they've duplicated like 10 times and they're running their Facebook $5 thinking that they're at like 30, 40 bucks, whatever, and they're actually optimizing, but they're not. Okay, so I do duplicate, but I duplicate a few and I up the budget only on big audiences as well. What I do then, you know, if I've got a small audience, I might just do the increase the main advert, or I might duplicate it a couple, but then I go into lookalike audiences. So that's a whole nother video. I might do a video on scaling another day. So we're going to talk about customer value first, and then budget ratios. So there's a few type of customers in the world of online. I do a lot of SEO on my stores, right? So my stores rank in Google for specific keywords. We're doing a lot of that lately, actually, for my stores. What happens is someone searches a keyword, so let's say cat phone case. Okay. We're going to get to Facebook in a second. When that person searches cat phone case and they find that cat phone case on your page, they are very high retention customers because they have specifically searched that product and they're like, okay, I found my cat phone case, and there's a high percentage of them purchasing. On one of my stores, I'm getting about a 48% rate. So if every person that does a specific search on my store and goes to my store, they're buying at a 48% rate. That's actually quite low. I think I can get them a lot higher than that. So, well, I don't know, but I do think that Amazon sites, you can usually get a bit higher than that. So anyway, I'm getting a 48%. I don't know if that's low or high. It just depends on your niche, really. I mean, 48% is good, so maybe I'll just stick with that. But anyway, that's a high retention customer. They stay on your site longer. They have a look around your site. They usually buy other products and stuff. So their value is they become a high value customer, but in reality, they're free from Google, so the value of them doesn't particularly matter, right? So that's kind of what I'm saying there, but they're a high value customer. On the other hand, if you are doing Facebook adverts, okay, your store is a funnel. It's a funnel. You probably don't know it, but you've got your ad set that goes to your product page, that goes to your cart, that goes to your checkout, and that makes a purchase. Okay, this is your ad set. Your ad, we'll say advert, because that's what it is. This is your product page. This is your checkout cart, and that's your checkout. This is a funnel, and you're going to lose people at every point of your funnel. Okay, it's inevitable. Unless you take out the cart or whatever, what you can do on some themes, including mine. You guys know that. So what happens is you have paid for traffic, okay? And let's say you are targeting a bunch of ages 20 to 30, 30 to 40, let's say 40 to 50, okay? You get a customer to your product page, or a person, and they become a little bit more valuable to you, okay? Just a little bit more valuable. They get to the cart page, they become a little bit more valuable then, because they're getting their way to the purchase. The ones that leave, they are usually dead to you. They don't come back to your store unless you've collected an email, so they are invaluable. They're now not valuable to you. They have zero value unless you retarget back to them. Get to the checkout point, the value starts to get a bit better, right? You get to here, the purchase, and they purchase. The value is even better because they've made a purchase. And they're now hot traffic, okay? They've made a purchase, they're on your email list. You can advertise to them later and make more money, okay? So you have to figure out what audience, what country, what anything, where your high value customers are. Now, Facebook can find you purchases and stuff, but when you are doing broad ages or broad targeting, Facebook says they will find you the best, and they usually do, right? But let's say you have 30s to 40s and you're getting your most purchases from here at the best rate. Let's say you get 100 purchases here, you get 5 here. No, sorry, let's say you get 60 here because that's more of a thing. And you get 5 here because this is older people, they're not interested in your product. And you're getting a good conversion rate here at, say, $2, okay? And you're getting a conversion rate here at maybe, I don't know, a bit more expensive, let's say $4. You're obviously going to hit these guys. You're going to try and maybe do a new advert to these guys. We're kind of getting into split testing and sort of shit now, but I didn't really plan to do this in the video, but we'll just dive into that. So let's say now you want to start an advert on your 30 to 40s and they're giving you the best conversion rate, right? They are now, that age range is now your most highly valuable customer range, because you're now getting the traffic for a cheaper price, and they could go through your funnel. Where as of here, if you're paying $4 per conversion, you're sending a customer to your, per purchase, you're getting the customer to purchase at $4. So you're spending $4 to get a purchase, where in this $2 here, you're spending $2 to get a purchase. So this customer in the long run is more valuable to you because you've spent less money to get them to make a purchase, if that makes sense. So ideally, you're going to get double the amount of money because you're not spending $4 per conversion. Well, you're not actually spending the money, the customer is. But I hope that's a bit messy, but that's what I mean. So you have to figure out, like Facebook does a lot of the work, but you have to figure out where your most valuable customers are. On Google, for instance, like I said, it's easy because your customer is already searching for the product, so they instantly become a valuable customer and they're a high value customer. But on Facebook, you are targeting people that are somewhat interested in your product. Okay, they might be interested, like let's say you're targeting dogs, okay? All you're doing is putting an advert in front of those people. They're not searching for your product, they don't know about your product, so you then have to become a good salesman. Okay, you have to have a good advert, you have to sell them on the product, you have to do all that sort of good stuff. So you're putting in more effort and work, so that's why you want to find the most valuable customers at the least cost of, at the least money spent. And you're like, that makes sense, right? Frankly, that makes sense, but a lot of people don't do that. And if you don't, it's a bit hard to understand, a bit hard to kind of explain, because a lot of guys don't even do split testing or data mining, reading data. You have to read a lot of your data, but basically figure out where you are getting the cheapest cost, and they will become your most valuable customers in the long run, okay? And all the ones that are dropping off, right? All the ones that are dropping off your cart, your page, your cart, and your checkout, they are now invaluable. So let's say you get 100 drop off, 20 of them sign up to your email because you got a coupon pop up. Those 20 people become somewhat valuable again because you can advertise to them, but the rest, they are now not valuable unless, say, you do a retargeting campaign, and let's say you get 5 people that purchase. Those 5 people now become more valuable customers to you. So it's a big system of values, and who's like really, where are your valuable customers? You want to take those valuable customers and you want to get them on an email list so you can then advertise more products to them. And that's the game here, guys. It's about scaling, values, data reading, positive cash flows. You treat this like a business. This isn't come on Facebook, have a little bit of fun and whatever. There's a lot of mechanical things to this Facebook stuff. Google AdWords and YouTube ads and Reddit ads, it's all the same. Different algorithms, but the same principles and the same methods. But you need to have like your plan in place. Like you need to have your plan. And I go off, my main things are positive cash flow and customer values. And also budget ratios. Let's talk about budget ratios. This is the last thing. I'll try not to make this bit too long. Budget ratios. This takes us back to the increases and stuff. Okay. Now, this is especially important in manual bidding, not so much in the automatic. So we need to do a manual bid. Okay. You are telling Facebook you want to pay either a maximum or an average per conversion. Let's take my product from before. Let's say I'm willing to pay $8 maximum per conversion. Okay. Right? Let's say I'm willing to pay $8 maximum. I come in here and I set a budget per day at $10, which I see all the time. I see this kind of ratio all the time. $10. Facebook's pretty much not going to run your advert. They're not going to run it. It's not going to run. You have given them a low budget to try and get an $8 purchase. It's not going to run. This is on manual bidding. I will talk about automatic bidding in a second. It's not going to run, and Facebook have also said that it's better to give them a bigger budget and a lower conversion, okay? A conversion bid. They've said that. Give them a bigger budget and a lower conversion rate and it'll perform better. So what I do with that $8 one, I'm going to come in at like 200 a day budget, 300. And maybe even more, probably more actually. Now I'm not going to necessarily, this is for manual bidding only, I'm not going to spend this money, okay? I have one going at the moment. I've got fresh data that I've been doing because the other product don't sell anymore. I've got one at the moment and I'm doing a $3 conversion on it. Sorry, $3.50. I ended up working my way down to $3, right? So now I'm getting $3 conversions. Now, for example, if I went to Facebook and said I want to get $3 bids and I said I'm going to give you $5 a day or $10 a day, Facebook's going to find it hard to do that. So what I do with the $3, I'm running that one at a, what am I doing that one at? I think it's either 50, this one's at a 100. I've got another one at 50, but this one's at 100. So I'm telling Facebook to get me $3 leads maximum at 100. And even that's not running too great. I'm only spending about 50 at the moment on this. But 50, I think he sells a 60. So I'm only spending 50 actually, but I've given them 100. Now, do you see the difference here? The ratio is important. I know a lot of you guys are coming in and you're doing like, you know, your $2, your $3 conversion purchases or add to carts or $10, whatever you do, right? It depends. Usually you got to go a lot higher than this when you're starting off. So I know a lot of you guys are coming in and you're doing that, but you're only doing $10, $20 daily budgets, and it doesn't give Facebook enough money. And they've said that, and that's why that's why. And a lot of people think, oh, my manual bids are not working because of the bid. So they sit there, they change the bid. They'll go from $3 to $3.50. They go from $3.50 to $4. I go from $4 to $4.50. Nothing's happening. Do you know why? Because you've bid stuck on 30 bucks per day or something, or 20 bucks per day. It's not enough to give Facebook. You need to give Facebook. So basically, if you're getting into manual bidding, you need to go hard or go home. That's how it works. That's how manual bidding works. It's for big players, and that's how it works. So we've got one of my mates at the moment is doing a $600 a day budget. And we did one last year at a $1,000 a day budget, and we did huge bids. We were doing 30 bids, $30 a day bids. That was for a funnel we were working on, a high ticket item. It wasn't Shopify, but that's the kind of stuff you got to do. Now, automatic bid is kind of the same. So if you're coming in with your $5, right, and you're burning out your $5 at a $2.50 conversion rate, and you're getting 2 conversions a day sales, you're sitting there and you think your advert's doing well. Right, you're making money. You could be making an ROI, or you probably will be at that point. But you're making money. But that's it. You've spent your $5 to get your 2, right? Your $2.50. That's it. If you keep running it at that day, if you keep running it like for a week, you might fluctuate $2.50, $2.60. You might go up and down a little bit. That's what it's going to do. You get maybe 2. You might get 3 sales a day. You might probably go back. You know, you might get 4, maybe 4 would be real cheap, but what's happening is you don't have a very good budget to conversion ratio. So you're basically giving Facebook $5 to work with, and it's not enough. Now the average conversion rate, it really just depends on the product, right? Phone cases and stuff like low ticket items, you're not going to be wanting to pay more than $2, $3 per conversion. High ticket items like the one I've talked about where I had $18 to play with, I could go up to $10 conversion if I want. And make $8 profit, which is not a lot, but you know, I could do that. But basically, what I'm saying is if you're doing $5 and $10 a day budgets, your ratio to conversion ratio, so we'll just say your budget to conversion ratio is not going to be very good. You are going to be getting conversions, right? You might get conversions with your testing and stuff, but Facebook is limited. And that's obvious, right? Because you're not given them a big enough budget. That you're probably like, shit, Frank, and that shit's obvious. But a lot of people don't know that that's how it works, and they sit there thinking, why am I getting all these big conversions? Well, it's because Facebook doesn't have the budget. It just doesn't have the budget to do anything. And you've got to remember, it's an auction. You're in an auction. If Facebook finds you a bid, if you're automatic bidding, if you have a $5 budget and Facebook can only find you a $5 purchase for that day or whatever, Facebook automatic bid, and it's like, okay, we have someone's been bidding, you're running at $5. Okay, we have a $5. We're going to charge $5 for this conversion. Now they actually charge you per 1,000 impressions, but that's just what Facebook does with automatic bidding. They find you the best bidder, and it might not work in your favor, and usually it doesn't if you're not scaling properly. So the takeaway from this entire long video, okay, this is a long video. I plan to do more of this stuff. Like, I want to teach you guys heaps of shit. So, you know, the takeaway is really just $5 ad sets, okay, for testing. $5, $10, $15. When you do, like, I know I say $20 ad sets are no good, but if you're getting your conversions, they're fine. But, you know, $5 ad sets, $10 ad sets, you know, duplicate them once or twice, but make sure you're upscaling those ad sets, okay? Don't just let them run. The next thing is make sure you eventually get into positive cash flow. Don't be the ones that spend $10 and say to me, Franklin, this method doesn't work, okay? When you want to spend $10, what you need to do is you need to go to AliExpress and get 30 products. You need to start 30 ad sets or 20 ad sets, right? You need to put $5 into one of those ad sets, into each one of those ad sets. You need to find out what works. If you want to make a sale off $10, well, actually, it's not even going to be $10. You're going to be paying for all this. But if you want to make money off a $10 ad set, you need to be split testing a ton of products. So don't come to me and say, Franklin, I spent $10 in 2 days, I have no sales. Because that is a common thing that happens to me, man. Common, very common. I suspect you guys are running one advert, going in and running one advert or one ad set, and you're hoping that product wins, and then you spend $10 and you get no sale. Well, that's not split testing, guys. That's not doing stuff properly. So don't do that. Don't just jump in with one ad set at $10, $5, whatever, and expect to make a sale. Okay. Second, make sure you're giving Facebook the budgets when it needs it, okay? When you are, it doesn't matter, there's no set way to scaling, right? People are going to be like, Franklin, you shouldn't be doing it 10, 20% a day, you should be doing it more. People are going to say you should be doing it less. There's no set way. You can upscale however you like, trial and error, learn yourself. That's how I learned. I learned everything myself. I learned how to do this myself. I didn't listen to anybody. I never listened to anybody. I just do my own stuff. I do testing. I test over and over again. I spend thousands of dollars on testing, thousands, and that's what wins for me. That's what works. So if you want to take your $5 ad set, I don't recommend doing it, and you want to go to 50, do it. You don't know what's going to happen. It might work out for you, and you might crack it, and it might change your life. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't recommend doing that, but you can always come back down. But you know, just be sensible, guys. So maybe take your $5 one, you know, if you want to upscale a bit more than 20, 30, 40%, whatever, maybe take your $5 one to 10, okay, it's 100%. Maybe then take it to 15, all right? It's a little bit lower. I tend to go 10 to 20% first, okay? And then as I get higher, I actually lower my percentage a little bit. So I might just stick to 10% only, okay? Because once you get to like 50, 80, 100 and you're going 20%, you're going to be going 100 to straight 120, okay? So guys, please, before you message me, before you, before you get angry at Facebook and angry at yourself for losing all this money, please read back over this video. This is how Facebook works. There is no magic trick. The magic trick is reading Facebook's data and giving it the money to give you that data. That is the trick. The gurus don't tell you that because they don't care. And second, they don't care because they already have your money. Okay? That's the truth. They don't care. Once you purchase their stuff, you're on the other side. It's all over. And just remember that budgets. I know I've said it 100 times. Budgets. If you're running low budgets, you're not winning. And one last thing, I don't know, I might just say goodbye now because this is probably going to cut out, but one more thing, 15 plus is the minimum. They want 50 plus, or even 100 plus, they say. So you should be getting 20 a day. You should be getting 20 conversions a day, 15 conversions a day to be really, really optimal, okay? So that's it, guys, all over. Be happy, have a great day, stay positive, okay? It's all good. It's all good. And join Online Dimes, not Online Dimes, we'll end that one as well. OnlineSamurais.com, and it will direct you to our badass Facebook group. We can teach you stuff where this video will be uploaded, all right? Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully we can do more of this stuff to help you guys out.